Hello and welcome to Beyond the Scale, Weight Loss and Wellness. I'm your host, Coach Monica. I'm joined today by Coach Darcy, and we are here to guide you through the ins and outs of a lifestyle that's transformed not just our lives, but the lives of countless women navigating the waves of perimenopause and menopause. Whether you're here to shed weight, understand your body better, or simply find a community that gets it, you're in the right place. So sit back and enjoy the next few minutes as we tackle the hot issues of today. Good morning, everybody. Good to see you. Hey, Coach Darcy, how are you?
I'm doing great.
Doing great?
Don't know what day it is, but I'm here.
I know. Happy Memorial Day is in order. We are
Yes.
so grateful for those who've given their lives for our country. We had a great weekend here in the Boyer household, our 30th wedding anniversary. So we celebrated it
Nice.
Indiana
Happy
style.
anniversary.
Yeah, thank
That's
you.
today, right?
Today.
Today.
It's actually today, and it is back-to-back clients all the way till 8:00. So I get to celebrate our 30th anniversary with our clients tonight. Yay.
Yay!
We knew it. So we celebrated our anniversary Indiana style, and we went to the Indy 500 this weekend. Have you ever been there?
I have. It's fun.
I had a surprisingly fun time. Like, I got this present for my husband thinking, okay, he's given me whatever I wanted for the last, 30 years. Let's throw a surprise curveball. And so I surprised him with tickets. We were on the third turn, and I was excited just to be there,
Yeah.
but I wasn't overly excited. I'm like, oh, yay for me. I got him tickets. And I had fun. But I'm wondering, it was beautiful out. Like, it was cold, cooler. And I heard when you're on the turns that the sun can kind of beat down on you.
Mm-hmm.
And it was gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous. And we didn't get to see any wrecks or anything.
Oh, well, that was good. It's a safe year.
Yeah, it was very safe. And my guy, I liked his car. I don't know how you choose a driver. I liked his car. It was a We the People, like a Constitution car, and he had John 3:16 on it. It was Stingray Bill, I think he was. But
Okay.
he got in a wreck.
Oh, no.
So yeah,
Not good.
but we had a good time. We had an absolutely good time. So got to see our cousins there. Out of 350,000 people, we just happened to be walking, and there they were. It was really kind of cool. So,
Yes,
what did
that
you
is
do
awesome.
this weekend? Did you have a good Memorial weekend? Actually, yeah, you did because you saw me.
I got to see you. I got to celebrate my mama's birthday.
Yes.
And I got to hold my great niece that is adorable.
Oh,
We got
tell me.
to get some furnishings for a cottage that we have.
Yeah.
And we got to just hang out, and I got sunburnt because I pulled some weeds yesterday. So yeah, it was a good relaxing. I just don't know what day it is.
I have no idea. I just know I have a whole day full of clients.
Yeah.
And yeah. So I'm psyching myself up. I got my wake up mug here ready to go. And starting in about 40 minutes, I am back to back, and I'm going to just kick butt.
Yes, you
coaching today, because I'm sure all of my clients have been on track. Nobody's gone off plan, and we're just going to cheer them like we did
right.
Stingray Bill or Bob.
Bob, Bill, George.
Yeah. So, hey, we got a topic today. It's going to be a hard hitter. We are not scared of hard-hitting podcasts or hard-hitting conversations.
Nope.
Because we want success. And dieting is just going out of style, right? And I saw this post this morning, and this was what brought up the topic. I saw this post this morning in one of the groups I'm in that kind of just stuck out to me and made me like, yeah, doggone it. If I had this person as a client, I would whack this right out of her. Because what she said was, I don't feel like, will I ever feel like being free from sugar?
Mm.
And she's dealing with obesity. She's dealing with all of the hard things that you and I are, are well aware of. And she's like, I just don't feel like doing this. Will I ever get to the point of feeling like getting healthy?
Mm.
And I typed something out. My keyboard warrior, I had my fingers are long, so it was little tippity tappity. And I pounded out this response and I'm like, delete, 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 delete. That's not nice. That's not nice. And I typed it out again and it was a little nicer. And I'm like, nope, delete, retyped it out. And I'm like, you know what? I'm sorry, but she needs to know this. She needs to hear this message that I have coming from a coach's heart, but also coming from somebody who's been where she was. And I'm like, I reflected on my journey and I said, no, you will never feel in the time that it took me to lose 130 pounds. I didn't feel like getting healthy one single time during that
Right.
journey. I didn't feel like the only thing that made my body move was the fact that I looked my son in the face as he asked me to get on a roller coaster. And I looked at my fat body, the size of my body, and said, this body will not fit where he wants me. This body will not fit in a roller coaster. There's no other way to say it, folks. I didn't feel like getting healthy, but I looked at my body and I realized that I was killing it one bite at a time. And so for me, it was the fact that I couldn't be a mom. Couldn't be a mom to my kid who wanted to spend time with me because of my size. And then later down the line, I was able to work through this thing called eating addiction. But never one time did I feel like it was time to get health. Now, when I'd begin a diet, of course, we were excited. We'd get all the salads out. We would do, we would get all the preparations out until what happened, coach? And sometimes it wasn't even 3 hours after that promise that I made to myself.
Right.
Sometimes I made my promise at breakfast time where I was going to get healthy, and then come lunchtime and, the first person asked me to go to lunch with them. Oh, I don't really feel like staying on plan.
Right.
So our talk today is about why feelings do not work for weight loss. The only thing that works for weight loss is the doing, not the feeling. So, you ready to kick it off?
Absolutely.
All right. So you open it up. Talk to me a little bit about your journey. Mine was the roller coaster deal. Talk to me a little bit about your journey and about how feelings kind of, you talk a lot about marketing products and those kinds of things. And I think that has a factor into the feelings a little bit.
It does, because the marketing products are that desperation. That's the final straw of, okay, well, clearly I'm having emotional issues. I'm feeling A, B, and C about myself. Now I need to be proactive and I want it done quick. I want it done fast. And so that was the very first thing that I turned to. I not only looked at tiny little people that looked like they have success and that they, struggled like me. They connected with the emotional factor of that. Yeah, I struggle too.
Yeah.
But it was an easy way out of and spending hundreds and hundreds of dollars on a product that helped my eyesight because I was getting good vitamins.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it did not do anything else. It did not get me to where I needed to be.
Yeah.
And feel about myself.
Yeah.
And so not only was it that my kids were my drive, I'm reflecting on how I was as a parent back in the day. And I played the victim. I think I used that in our last podcast. I played the victim of woe is me. Why me? Everybody else looks so beautiful. And here I am, like I got this fat gene. So I'm wallowing in my depression. I'm wallowing in my insecurities. And I'm a little harsh about it right now because I can reflect on
Yeah.
how it used to be. Before, it was serious. It was like a definite seriously, I relate with what the girl said, when am I gonna feel like I wanna do this?
Right.
And no, you're right. I did
Yeah.
not feel like I wanted to change my lifestyle because I loved being able to have cookouts and
Yeah.
eat whatever I wanted or go out to girls' night and drink whatever I wanted. Um, but in the end, I'm going to be very, very vulnerable right now. And the fact that I did not feel great as a wife in my body. I did not feel like I was confident in my relationship with my spouse. Doesn't mean not like that he was, gonna go out on me because
Yeah.
of that. It was my own insecurities, my own um
Yeah.
blockage
Yeah.
with how I was feeling. And, when we did that podcast, I was surprised that with Mark and Brian, I was surprised that this really didn't come up for them. But it just shows you it didn't matter to them. It
Right.
mattered more to me, but I wanted to feel desired by my husband in my way.
Yeah.
And so between that and me being a not so great mom of being kind of, I'm going to use the word lazy, a
Yeah.
lazy
I
mom,
was. I was a lazy
because
mom.
I did things for my kids and I gave them everything they wanted, but I did not enjoy it.
Yeah.
I did not put my heart and soul into it. Now I get to go out and play baseball with my kids and make
Yeah.
them practice and do all the things that they want me to do.
Yeah.
And I enjoy it.
Now, one of the things before we bash feelings too badly, because most of the show today we're going to bash feelings,
Yes.
because feelings will get you off of your plan within, before lunchtime.
Mhm.
However, sometimes those initial feelings, and you and I take the calls on Monday.
Mhm.
Typically, we do our intake calls on Mondays. And that is after a weekend where women have binged
Mhm.
and they have maybe gone to, and I'm talking about myself here too. This was my biggest trigger and my biggest fear. They've gone to a wedding that weekend, sat on one of those little white chairs and not fit on those chairs. Or they will have gone through a weekend of Memorial Day and they will have been on the boat and people will have been taking pictures. They will come to us in almost a sickening panic of, I just saw that picture of myself, because we can't see ourselves every day. Like,
Right.
I was so clueless as to how big I was when I was living my life. I was never that big until I saw that picture, until I saw that family
Yeah.
reunion picture and me standing out of the entire family
That is
crowd.
so real. Yeah.
Those feelings pushed me hard to want to do something, right? Because I'm like, okay, I just saw myself and I didn't know I was that big. I didn't know. And this has nothing to do with body shaming. It is a reality of what I lived for 40 years of my life. I didn't get healthy until I was 42. 10 years of those, probably until I was in high school, I was of normal weight. When I got married at the age of 19, 30 years ago, is when I let my body go and it became a big issue for me. So this is nothing to, it's just reality. I mean, I can't unsay or I can't unfeel, I can't unlive the years that I lived where I literally would sit on those white chairs at the wedding, or my gosh, the Right to Life banquets. They had the plastic white chairs. I mean,
Right.
the wood chairs are okay. Maybe those can hold a little bit more. Those Right to Life banquets that I would go to every year in and year out, I would sit on those white chairs and I could feel them sinking in
Yeah.
and I still can't sit on them without having a moment. I can't. So those feelings are valid and they're real. And sometimes those are the feelings. I needed those feelings when I looked at my son and he wanted to go to the amusement park. I needed those feelings because
Mhm.
that started my journey. But if I would rely on those feelings to carry me through the 130-pound weight loss journey, I would fail every single
Yeah.
time
Well, it's kinda
because
like it's kinda like willpower. Like,
yeah,
we are
yeah,
not born with willpower. We
no,
are born with a whole bunch of emotions and hormones,
Mhm.
they're fickle.
Yeah.
We are having to learn, you know, what is it? It's not willpower, or when you are trying to control, what is
Mhm.
that word? We're trying to control the quantity of something. It starts with an M.
Mhm.
Anyway, you're not born with that either.
Right.
So how do you
Moderation.
get
Moderation.
moderation?
Yeah.
Yes. You aren't, if you're not born with willpower, well, then how do you get willpower?
Yeah.
If you're not
Exactly.
born with the understanding of what moderation is, then how do you get that understanding of what
Right.
moderation is?
Right. Yeah.
Uh,
And there's also a chemical aspect here
yeah.
too of the dopamine rush that you get from sugar. And so if you struggle with food addiction, if you struggle at all with any of the emotional eating addiction, any of the things that we talk about every week, you are going to be pulled to that food automatically because there's a dopamine chemical in your brain with the neural pathways that open up and when you put it in your mouth. And so if you struggle with food addiction, you certainly cannot rely on feelings
Right.
because you will be running to that food and you won't even care, and it won't be until the next picture you see of yourself. And that was another topic that somebody brought up in the same group I'm in, about what was it that caused you to realize you had an eating addiction. And a lot of people were like, oh, it's the chemical pull, it's the fact that I couldn't step away from the cookie, I needed more. For me, my bottom was my weight. Had I not, and because there are people that are skinny who have an eating addiction and a sugar addiction.
Yeah.
The thing that saved my life, and they're killing themselves, but there's no physical outer, hey, I'm
Yeah.
getting larger and larger. Thankfully for me, it was my weight that pushed me because I did not wrestle I was not in recovery for my eating addiction at the beginning. It was the scale who guided my success.
Yeah.
That's dangerous because
Mhm.
if you let the scale guide your success, then what we're seeing now is the people that are on GLP-1s, they're thinking, "Hey, I got this beat." They're melting like a candle because all those weight's coming off, but the minute they're off of it, they start to eat normally and they're gaining that weight back because they did not deal with the root.
Yeah.
They didn't deal with the chemical addiction that they faced. And so for me, it was my weight that guided my success. I put those habits in place, and yes, I did the things. I did the keto thing and I did it very well. I worked on that, but that scale going down encourager was my encourager, and that's okay. That's okay to use that. But if you don't realize that, if you don't put habits in place to change your life, the minute you have a Memorial Day or a 30th anniversary, I'm thinking of our life this weekend, you're going to fall on your backside and you're going to go into a 30-pound sugar binge.
Mhm.
You can't live this lifestyle by feelings. You have to live it by doing and by putting systems in place, like James Clear says, putting systems in place to where it's not an option for you. Those things that I lived as I was killing myself as a nearly 300-pound woman, those things are no longer in my life because they didn't serve me well and I had to get rid of them.
Yeah.
I'll never be able to go back to them, and I'm okay with that.
And you have to be willing. That's the biggest
Oh,
thing.
yeah.
We can talk about it all day long.
Yeah.
If you're not willing to do it, you're going to stay the same.
Yeah.
Nothing's going to change.
Yeah.
But when you are like, okay, I see that picture,
Mhm.
I'm motivated
Yeah.
to do something about it.
Yeah.
And then not just talking about, oh, I might start this, or I was thinking about
Mhm.
this. You can think and maybe do this
Yeah.
all day long until
Right.
you actually finally do it.
Yeah.
That's when you're going to see the change.
I kept a picture of my fat picture up on the refrigerator at all times, and I don't know, is it just me? Am I weird? I mean, I know I'm weird, but did you feel when you were overweight, did you feel overweight all the time? I mean, there were times
No.
that, like, when I would have to get out of bed, I would have to take 3 rolls to get started.
Right.
I couldn't fit some places, so there were times where my weight confronted my face, like, but the majority of the time, and this is really scary, the majority, and again, it could be just post in the comments in our podcast here. Post in the comments, Monica, you're weird. if this is not year, but there were most of the time I did not feel like I was nearly 300 pounds
Right.
because I was so used to it. Now, if I go to pick up a 40-pound dog bag of dog food, I'm like, I can't even
You're
lift it.
weak. Yeah.
How the heck did I have 3 of these on my body?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know.
I think you pinned it though with the picture thing. I think for me it was the young factor. I was on the younger
Yeah.
side.
Yeah.
Living my life, my younger 20s, overweight,
Mhm.
mid-30s, and then 30s when I got clotheslined, and that
Yeah.
is, like, science there. When you hit 30,
Yeah.
your body starts to do, this thing called a decline.
Yes. Yes.
And so when you hit certain ages, you're like, "Oh, man, this age is really hitting me." Well, it's because that's scientifically why your
Eh,
body is declining because
yeah.
it's what
Yeah.
it's what is
Welcome.
happening.
Welcome to
But yeah,
perimenopause.
I felt like I still was, a teenager with
Yeah.
weight insecurities,
Yeah.
until I saw pictures where I'm like, "Oh, I feel good in this," and then I look
Yeah.
at it,
I
and then I'm
know.
like, "I didn't think I
Okay,
looked
so I'm
like
not
that."
weird. My pastor
No.
always said, never underestimate your capacity for low self awareness. And I'm like, oh, well, that's kind of a snotty little comment there. I think he was
Oh,
talking about my attitude when he told me that.
okay.
I don't, he wasn't telling me that. He
Yeah,
put it in the air quote here sermon.
yeah,
But that's
but
so true because I did not feel like I was a 300-pound woman.
no.
I did not feel that until I saw the pictures or until it came to me having to sit down reality wise on a white chair.
Yeah.
Then I'm like, "Oh crap. This is this is bad." And
Mhm.
maybe that's how our husband saw us too. My husband never once complained. On this side of the healing process, he tells me every single day, "Thank you for getting healthy." So I know the reality of what he means by that. I don't know. Ladies, do you read into what your husbands say? Because I
Oh,
sure do.
yeah. I think
Well,
it's
you
normal.
didn't tell me earlier, you know. But he thanks me. He's like, "Thank you." You look beautiful. You look amazing. Thank you for getting healthy. And I'm like, well, that means you thought I was, big earlier. I don't just say thank you, ladies. Just say thank you. Just
Just
say
say
thank you.
thank you.
They really do
Yeah,
care how we look. It's reality.
right.
I'm not gonna lie about things. But my low self-awareness did not tell me every day until I saw the pictures and until I, until my back went out. Then when my back went out, about once a month, then okay, all right, I got a slight problem here. But the bottom line and what we're telling you is feelings, if you let your feelings control your weight loss journey, you'll make it to lunch. Habits are the backbone of lasting change. They're the things that you do without thinking, like brushing your teeth or locking the door before you go to bed. And the same goes for food. When you build the strong habits and when you put these in place, and not saying that you're not going to not like what you're doing, not saying it's going to be easy to give up the sugar, but when you build those habits, we're going to talk about a couple of things that you can do to put those habits in place today. When you build it and you surround it with habits, then you're going to be successful. Now, could you diet? How long do you think the average diet lasts? When somebody says, I got to lose about 100 pounds, and they go on a starvation diet or they go on a diet, they get a pill. Well, sometimes, if you have a bigger wallet, you could
Yeah,
buy the products a little bit longer. And we're not talking about GLP-1 here. That's completely off the table in this discussion
yeah,
because when you talk about the GLP-1, we're not talking about habits at all. We are not. There's no habits that are being put in place. I've never seen a successful client come to me, and we work with clients on GLP-1s. Never seen a successful client put some healthy habits in place because they have the backbone of that
yeah.
medication working, not their habits working. Never seen a successful meal tracker or calorie counter or completely on plan person on a GLP-1. Prove me wrong. I've not seen it. And we've had a lot of clients come through on a GLP-1
Well, the
because
clients I was gonna say the clients that are not on it,
Mhm,
the ones that you're speaking of, like,
mhm,
are the ones, that are just wanting to lose weight fast,
mhm.
not interested on the emotional side, not
Right.
interested on the spiritual side, not as
In the recovery, right.
yeah,
Mhm.
they're not interested in that.
Right.
So those clients only last about 3 months.
About 3 months.
That's the longest.
Yes, because about 3 months, and that's why our 3-month program is so successful, because we do a renewal plan with them, and the ones who are really that have put those habits in place will do the renewal, and they'll get through the junk of things.
Mhm,
That's when the junk starts to happen. Red dog, in our addiction world, we talk about red dog and the blue dog.
mhm.
Red dog is convenient. Red dog is the addict brain. Okay,
Yeah,
it's the person that says it's a little red dog on your shoulder that says, "Hey, one bite won't hurt. You've been doing great. You might as well treat yourself." I mean, he tells you, he's very individual, and he
mhm,
will tell you things to get you off plan. He conveniently is silent for about 3 months. Our food addiction treatment center that we have is very calm until about the 3-month mark, and that's when the red dog, number one, he knows your voice and he knows where your weak spots are, and he starts to talk to you. So we get really intense at about the 3-month mark. But Darcy's 100% right. The diets that our clients go on when they think they're coming in to lose weight, and they lose about 40 pounds, 30, 40 pounds that 3 months, um, it starts to fail around the 3-month mark
yeah.
because they
Because
have. Mhm.
well, they get pretty comfortable with this new weight, and they're like, "Oh, well, if I can." It's kinda reminds me
Yeah.
of the story that you talk about, when you were in the car, like, God just like,
Hmm.
"I promise, like, it just get this weight off. I promise I won't go backwards."
Yeah.
These clients are, I'm gonna go lose this weight, and then I will start in moderation, or I
Yeah.
will have more willpower. When in fact, because they don't work on those things
Hmm.
during the weight loss, and they're just focused on eating small things and little things and less calories, and they lose the
Yeah.
weight not in a healthy way, that
Hmm.
and they get to their initial goal weight, or even just a little bit before their goal weight, and thinking, "Oh,
Yeah.
this is just gonna come off."
Yeah.
Then they're like, "Oh, well, I can go to this party and be fine." And they go to that
Right.
party, they have the one cheat day,
Hmm.
and then lo and
It's
behold,
over.
they can't stop.
Yeah. Yeah,
They'll
and
have another cheat day.
I'm gonna start because you said that,
I
you
know.
can take the first one, but I'm gonna start with number 2 because in the blog, and I just posted our blog for the day,
Mhm,
in the chat, section. We'll put it on our show notes as well, but that's the second point of how to put empowering habits over your emotion, is that's ditch the cheat days. There is no cheating when it comes to your new lifestyle. Cheat days sound like fun because it's a great way to reward yourself, but they are a trap.
mhm,
It is the first and the most popular way to do a 30-pound sugar binge is to have that cheat day, because it's not just a break. It is a slippery slope into your old patterns that will bring you to a 30-pound sugar binge. There are no cheat days when it comes to our new lifestyle. That is why when we do our coaching, that's why our weekly sessions with our clients are so important, because we are able to tease out what was not working for you this week. How can we ketoize this for you? How can we make it so that you can love this lifestyle without cheating? We have empowered clients this weekend, and we get to celebrate them all day today when we do our sessions. We get to celebrate with them how you made it through Memorial Day on plan. 80% of our clients lose weight on the holidays. The ones who are all in. Now, we've got those ones who are on a diet, and we've got those ones who think they know how to operate their own diet. And I don't know why they've hired us, but we've got 80% of them who are like, hey, how do I ketoize this Memorial Day? How do I have a good time? And one of our mandates that we give to our clients is not about it's not about what they can't have. It's what they can have. So it's not about restriction. That is one of the mandates that we give to our clients. Could our clients go through Memorial Day with restriction? Absolutely, they could. We'd make it maybe one holiday on that.
mhm.
That's not what we want. So, are there restrictive things that we don't eat? Absolutely. There are things that we choose not to eat. But we go into our holidays with our clients, we walk through it with them with, okay, what can you bring that's just as tasty as grandma's pie? What can you drink? Because alcohol is a part of the lifestyle. We believe now for some people, they choose not to do it, but we believe in teaching our clients how to do alcohol, how to do things on those special occasions that cause the least amount of damage, right? So I never want my clients, and I'm going to give her the name Susie. She knows exactly who I'm talking about. I nagged her. Her daughter was getting married. I nagged her for 3 months before, and she wouldn't do it till the last minute. I was about ready to show up at her house with a keto wedding cake. It was not an option for Susie to go to her daughter's wedding without a keto wedding cake. Is that the most annoying thing ever that I made her do? Absolutely. But number one, her diabetic guests were like hugging her neck when they found out there was a sugar-free cake there. Could she have gone without a sugar-free cake at her daughter's wedding? Absolutely, she could have. I'm not interested in that. That's a diet. I am interested in her living her best life with her daughter on plan. And so that's what we do. That's the hard work we do. A lot of people think coaching and getting an accountability person is just about her telling you what you can and cannot do. No, it's having her work with you to live your best life at those parties, at those events. What did I bring this weekend to the Indy 500? What was in my cooler? Did I have drinks in there? I did. I had keto drinks. I had the things that were the least amount where I could still participate with my husband on our weekend. Now, were they the greatest choices? Not 100%. So what am I doing today? Today, I'm fasting until noon, right? I'm getting all of those things moving. I'm getting the toxins. I'm taking the activated charcoal. I'm doing all of those things, getting myself back in plan. But I lived my best life this weekend on plan to the best of my ability. So we're ditching the cheat days and we're relearning how to live our life. So in that vein of thought, because you brought that on, we're getting rid of the cheat days, but could you talk about the first one on our list in creating the non-negotiable routines? Can you talk about that for just a second?
Yeah. So the things that James Clear talks a lot about is adding these habits, these routines. But it's not an overload, not doing things over and above, because we like to do that when we start something new. We're all in. That's those people that die off quick, out of their not die off, like that's terrible, but they find the exit ramp real quick because they started with cardio first and then they can't finish the rest of the workout because they're tired and exhausted.
Yeah.
So these non-negotiable routines would be starting things little at a time. Treating it like, you're going to add, a 20-minute walk. Once 1%, little by little, you start to add these things in your routine and you are consistent with those one at a time, and then you add it once you've got that down. Once you've got that routine and it's in your lifestyle, that is when you're not. And here's the thing. This is why Coach Monica and I love showing up to places early. Let me just explain this to you. And this is how I explain it to other people when I'm like, I have to be at least 30 minutes, maybe 5 minutes early everywhere I go. Because when you walk into a place, your heart rate is low, you're calm, you're collected, you're ready to walk in. You get to, maybe talk to the certain people that are there just to check in on them. You're not full of anxiety when you walk into a place. You're not anxious. So when you are starting little habits like that, where you're going into somewhere, you're calm, you're collected, you are 10 minutes early, all of those things, you're not scientifically, we're going to talk about the cortisol. We're not lifting the cortisol levels. Everything's great. Everything's dandy. It goes along with, when you are adding, we're going to talk about tracking your progress here in a second. But is included. When you are beginning to then track your progress, track what you do, you're not anxious
Mhm.
about it. You're
No,
calm, you're collected. You've
because the
got things,
data's there.
it's all there.
Data is
So,
not diet. A
right.
lot of people think that when you have to track your macros, oh, Coach Monica, Coach Darcy, they make us track our macros. No, data is not diet. Number
Mm-mm.
one, if you come up with a weight loss stall, we can get you out of it because we've got the data there for that. But that data, like Darcy says, you're not freaking out that you've overeaten because it's right there.
Yeah.
You know exactly. The pre-trackers are even greater. They know, hey, I've got that. I've got it.
It's all done.
No biggie. I've got it all in my tracker. Everything's good.
Right.
Their cortisol is low at that point.
And we need, and the reason why this is important, because we live in a society of high pace society where
Yeah.
your calendar is like Coach Monica's
Mhm.
calendar today, where it's nonstop
Yeah.
all day long. And there's no room for recover.
Right.
There's
Right.
no room for it because you have not added the room for it. So when you start to, and I just would say, go and get the book Atomic Habits if
Oh,
you
yeah.
have not read it. Go read it. It's a great way to start a lifestyle change,
Mhm.
because that's going to add those healthy habits to
Mhm.
then, start those routines off on the right path versus just jumping in it
Yeah.
in a ice cold water plunge, and then
Yeah.
you're like instantly out. Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
Our most successful clients that we have purchase our package for a year. And I say that because with our year clients, and we've got clients that have been with us 3 years that are just, they're making it. They need the support. They need
Mhm.
the women in our
They
weight
know
loss
what they're
support group.
doing.
They know what they're
They
doing.
just like us.
They just need the support, and they need to know that they're not alone. And
Yes.
so, but the ones who sign up with us for a year, we start them out completely different. It's like we have to, the ones who are with us for 3 months, we've only got them for 3 months. So we've got to shove it's like a fire hose, and we have to do all the things right away. With our year clients, they don't even get macros until about the third or fourth week in. We give them their own macros. So there's a math science formula that when you come to us at a certain weight, male, female, how many, there's a scientific calculation that we use to give you your macros of what you should be. However, if you are eating way over that, or you're not eating what you're supposed to, those are not your individual macros. So when we have a client come to us for a year, I know that I've got her for a year, she doesn't even get macros until she gives me 3 weeks of what she normally eats. Now we change their diet, we remove the things, and we put them on keto, but we bump them in ease, slightly versus, washing them with a fire hose. And those clients are the most successful because we ease them in, and that does exactly what you just said. It gives them little tiny goals
Yeah.
at the front side so they're not overwhelmed and they're not stressed out.
Right.
When you get stressed out and you're like, I got to do all the things, you think you have to be perfect. And then that in and of itself kills your weight loss journey because of the cortisol.
Mhm. There's
So yeah,
It
go
seems
ahead.
like a lot of our clients tend to be on the type A
Mhm.
personality.
Mhm.
They're helpers. They want to put other people first.
Yep.
And by doing these things,
Mhm.
there's a reason for all of this madness that we
Yeah.
have. But by doing these things, by putting these routines into place, that
Yeah.
may sound stupid, may sound selfish, may sound how whatever words popping into your head right now,
Mhm.
there's a reason to add these routines in so that you
Yeah.
can have that balance,
Yeah.
that you can begin to see the importance of putting your own face mask on
Yeah.
first. That hence the airplane thing that
Yeah.
they tell you to do that. They're like,
Yeah.
"Hey, you need to put your face mask on first if this plane goes down,
Yeah.
because you're not capable of helping anybody else around you because
Mhm.
you have zero left in you.
Yeah.
You have
Yeah.
no chance of supporting the next person next to you that
Mhm.
you want to help." So
Yeah.
for all of you um what are type 2 on the Enneagram people that you know what I'm talking about, or you are helpers of some sort, putting everybody first before yourself. This is helping you to put yourself in a healthy way in place of your own
Yeah.
lifestyle.
Yeah. And part of that is surrounding yourself with support. So many times, and it happened this weekend again. Oh, I'm going to do this by myself. I'm going to do this by myself. 9 times out of 10, I have never seen, honestly, maybe some of the guys. I think maybe guys can tend to do this. I'm profiling here, but never seen anybody able to do it by themselves, especially those people who do it quietly. Now,
Mhm.
I did it by myself for a long time until I went public on Facebook. The only reason I believe I was successful doing it by myself was because I made it so public on Facebook that if I did go back on the way my lifestyle, it would be I lived a public life anyway. I was in the media a lot and I work with politicians a lot. And so I have everywhere on my social media, it's pastors to politicians to my mother. Everybody's on there. And I knew if I screwed up, everybody was going to see that. And so mine was public. My weight loss journey was public, but that's why we coach. That's why we do what we do, and that's why we have a weight loss support group. Because if you surround yourself with support, your friends are not going to let you out of it. They're going to be like, "Hey," your coach is be like, "Hey, you missed your meeting. What's going on? Is something going on?" Um, the only time support groups don't work is when you don't use them.
Mhm.
I mean, caution to our clients who are listening to us right now. If you're not using group, it's not working for you because everybody thinks you're perfect. And here you are over here struggling with this weekend's progress and you're silent about it. Everybody thinks you're perfect. Well, guess what? Everybody else is feeling the same thing. They're thinking everybody's perfect. And so I can't go to support. You've got to surround yourself with support. And 9 times out of 10, obese people have enablers in their life. I did. Sometimes it's our own kids. Sometimes it's our grandkids.
Mhm.
If you've got an enabler in your life, you need to get that toxic person out. You've got to have that hard conversation because you have got to surround yourself. If you have 100 pounds to lose, count yourself a year and a half. That's how long it's going to be to get the weight off. And then you start part 2 of your journey, which is maintaining it and keeping the weight off,
Mhm.
which is harder than getting it off
Yeah.
because you're watching that scale stay the same. And in your mind, it's supposed to go down. It's not going down. So it starts to gently bump up and you freak out. Cortisol starts up and it's just a giant circle. So part 2 of your journey is harder than the first. That's why if you don't put little habits in place now and you do not treat foods and be able to see foods then never again seeing the foods the same again. I can't unsee what sugar does to your cancer cells. Can't unsee it. So to me, it's poison.
Yeah.
And so if you don't start now putting consistent things in your life, um, consistency is your superpower. I just posted it
Mhm.
in the show notes. That's the only thing that's going to make this thing work. And again, we are not talking to GLP-1ers because this does not apply to you. Because if you don't have consistency and build the habits now and stick with the habits and do what our clients are doing right now without the GLP-1, it's just an immediate reversal. Again, you can prove me wrong by coming to me 3 years post GLP-1 and saying the weight stayed off. Then I will congratulate you and say, Coach Monica was wrong. But it's not happening because the habits are not there. Lifestyle is not changing. You have to do your way to weight loss. You cannot feel your way to weight loss. You have to do things. And a part of that is putting these habits in place. So, this is all said without even talking about food addiction. When we talk about eating addiction and food addiction, we bring this up another 10 amps. So, 1 out of 3 people are food addicts, eating addicts, right? So, we haven't even talked about the eating addiction portion of this journey. And the fact that we've got to identify the triggers, we've got to remove the temptations, we've got to get the professional help, there's a litany of things that we have to do to face the food addiction and the eating addiction, which none of those things can be done without putting the habits in place. That's your victory. That's your victory lap right there. This is the long game. This is not something that you just wake up on a Monday morning and say, "Oh, I'm going to change my life." Right? again, I had 3 people message me last week who are ready to get started on their weight loss journey. 3 times they were talked out of it. They talked themselves out of it by supper time. 3 clients, 3
Oh my
future
gosh.
clients because they're
Yeah.
not ready. You can literally talk yourself in and out of weight loss before lunch.
Yeah. It's amazing. That's kind of been my theme of recent with people trying to sabotage your efforts into
Yes.
changing your life. And
Yeah.
there's I think that it can come down to the people in your life either have good intentions or they
Mhm.
are jealous.
Yeah.
For the people that have lost the weight, for the people that Coach Monica was talking about, like maybe you've lost all your weight and you're in the
Mhm.
second season of your life, yet you still have people trying to
Mhm.
sabotage your efforts, trying to
Yeah.
say you're killing yourself, or
Yeah.
that I would never do that, and make you feel terrible for living this lifestyle that you are, or making
Mhm.
you feel like you're so inconvenient.
Yeah.
The way you eat now is so inconvenient. How dare you?
Yeah.
Um, those people have issues.
Yeah.
Those people don't all of a sudden are experts at
Yeah.
something that they themselves struggle with.
And if you were that person, shame on you.
Shame on you.
Truly.
I've seen it so many times
Mhm.
where those people are still trying, they're in the excuse box still, trying
Mhm.
to be like, "Oh, it's okay to eat this way. Everybody else does." Nobody
Yeah.
cares about how you are so focused on being healthy. Nobody
Mhm.
cares that you're just looking for attention. Like there's
Yeah.
so many negative things from people and it drives me nuts. It
Oh, it
actually,
it is real.
surprisingly, 6 years down the road, it still affects this coach to this day.
Mhm. Yeah.
Words matter. What
They do.
people say matter.
Yeah.
And
If you
shame
have
on
somebody
you for making somebody feel
Mhm.
terrible for trying to change their lifestyle around.
Yeah. To just so that you can still have fun and go quote party with your friends,
Be
or if you are
justified.
jealous. Yeah. And it is a reality 9 times out of 10. I am telling you. And if you watch the 600-pound life, all of those people can't even get out of bed and they've got people bringing them food. So w- uh, enabling is a massive problem when it comes to people wanting to be healthy. If you have somebody in your life who is wanting to lose weight, maybe they're not losing it the way you think they should, and you're shaming them, you're actually hurting them a great
Mhm.
deal. And if you are somebody who is surrounded by enablers, maybe it's time to surround yourself with a community of people who want you to be healthy and who want you to live your best life. When I was almost 300 pounds, I could not live my life like I do now. I couldn't run with my grandchildren. I couldn't be the wife, the mother I needed to be. I was near stroke level. And I personally didn't have out and out enablers in my life. I can't think of anyone who was shoving food at me. I didn't have the support that I needed, and I had a lot of people telling me, "Hey, you're fine. Everything's okay," including my husband. "You're beautiful." I had a lot of that, but I didn't have any of the out and out enablers. But what I had was a lazy lifestyle. I didn't want to feed my kids. I didn't want to. I would rather order out. That was that was my biggest issue was laziness. And I own all of that,
Mm.
because that I would rather open a box of frozen pizza than cook something for my family. And I was tired, but I was carrying around an extra 120 pounds. So it's kind of like, what comes first, the chicken or the egg? you
Yeah.
know, I was really, really tired. But we want you to know, if you hear one thing from today's podcast, in today's live, is that if you're not consistent, you're going to fail every time. Consistency is your superpower. And you don't have to jump off the cliff and do everything all at once in order to change your life. You can change one thing at a time. And if you let feelings control your lifestyle, you will be out of the game, out of the healthy game by lunchtime today. And we've only got 6 minutes left. And that's literally how fast you can go backwards.
Yeah.
So we want to encourage you today. You can do this. Start little, start small, surround yourself with people. If you need a coach, kmhealthcoaching.org. That's where you can find us. Now, do not message us if you want someone to tell you everything's going to be fine. And if you want to hear the nice, intuitive eating kind of coaching, do not bother going to our website. We are not intuitive eating coaches. We are hardcore to the core because we want you to be successful. We want to be able to fire you at the end of this. We do not want you coming back for our services again unless you're going to coach for us. So do not come to us if you want somebody to tell you everything is fine, because we're not going to tell you everything's fine. We're going to give you the hard news. We're going to walk through you. We're going to hold your hand while you do it. And you're going to have a whole bunch of women, we've got some guys in there too. You've got a whole support system inside supporting you, cheering you, urging you to stay away from the stuff that you're not supposed. We've got the support inside, but we are not intuitive eating coaches. We are hardcore because it works and because we know what it's like to be free. And we never want you to see that again. Never want you to see your old lifestyle again. So we're going to tell you. We're going to tell you how it is. So, any last words, Coach?
No, I would just say, if you are on that struggle bus and something that we have said today has struck something with you, don't just push it aside and saying, "Oh, I keep feeling this way." Get yourself curious. Ask yourself why. Why is it that I am feeling this way? And am I diving in too much of my feelings and and letting my feelings dictate how my health is? Just really dive into being curious about these topics that we've talked about today.
Yeah, absolutely. We're here every Tuesday morning at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. We have our blog post will come out. That one's already out. I've posted the link in the comments section. And then we have a podcast, Beyond the Scale, Weight Loss and Wellness. You can catch us there weekly, where this will also be aired there. And so don't do this thing alone. We understand we are not everyone's cup of tea. If you are one who needs you need coddled, there are a lot of coaches, and I can even refer you to some. We've got some in our some of our colleagues are that kind. We are not that. And I always want to be upfront on the front side because I want results. I'm not messing around with dieting anymore. I want results, and I want to get you there. Our coaching staff wants to get you to your results, and we're going to do what it takes to get you there. So we love you guys, and we are passionate about long-term. If there was a theme of our company, of this organization, it'd be called long-term. Not interested in short-term, because we've had so many short-term things. That's what we've spent our life doing. We're done with that. We want long-term results, and we're going to do what it takes to get you there. So reach out to us if you want to set up a free consultation. Coach Darcy and Coach Monica both have a website inside our website, kmhealthcoaching.org. You can go directly to our calendars so that you can get right into those. Mondays do not work for this coach. I have openings later on in the week. Darcy, you and I have opposite schedules. I feel like you are busier later in the week, and
mine's more spread out.
Yeah, Mondays kill me a little bit. So hey, it's good to see everybody. We want you to live free and be healthy, and we want you to experience the same freedom that we have experienced in our journey. So take care, and we will see you next Tuesday, 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Bye.
Hey, it's Coach Monica here. Guess what? If you're fed up with feeling stuck in your battle with weight or food, I've got something just for you. Check out our free Facebook groups. Over at Food Addiction and Recovery, I'm over there waiting for you. We're going to walk this journey together. It's about getting real, sharing our stories, and lifting each other up. We're in this together every step of the way. And if you're curious about changing your life with keto, the Weight Loss Project is where you want to be. Coach Darcy is amazing. And together, we're not just talking about losing weight. We're talking about finding a happier, healthier you. So, what do you say? Are you ready to join us? The links are in the show notes below, and I'm telling you, this is more than an invite. It is the start of something great. We